Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Ray Canyon. With me today is Kent.
Hello.
Courtney.
Hi.
Matt.
Hey.
And Robert Newman.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
How's it going, everybody?
It just gets lower and lower every time.
Going good. I can go lower. Hello.
It's getting very Monster Jam commercial.
I know. We don't get those down here, and we probably get them down here. They're probably just in Spanish.
Come on out. We've got popcorn, diesel fuel, cotton candy, and buckets of sugar.
Telemundo.
Doomsday is gonna crush Tombstone.
On the Epic Gaming Night Podcast.
That's right.
Brought to you by Monster Truck. Okay. Anyway, hey, we're going to talk about nature games today. We're going to talk about some news and the things we've been playing as well. So, if you're joining us, make sure to say hi in chat on whichever platform you're on.
Or get off. If you're not going to say hi in chat, get off.
We just went down 3 viewers.
Goodbye.
I'm just kidding.
We only have 3 viewers.
That's it. They're all gone.
Rob's like, no, I just clicked out of one of the 3 windows I had open. But yeah, so how's everybody doing?
Doing good. I'm liking this Thursday. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, it's a new time.
Here,
And
which
look,
is nice.
Yeah, it's a
Kent's
good
here
night.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
Good night for a podcast.
It is a
for
good night for a podcast. So.
I was about to say, we don't have Lorcana, but we do have Lorcana news at some point tonight. So
Yeah.
I was
Exciting
I was
news.
playing Lorcana when you called the first time, setting off Skype. I was playing with my daughter.
did I save you from another
You
defeat?
beating her again?
Yeah, I was kicking her butt. But I was sort of doing like what you were doing with Scotty. I was showing her like, hey, slow down, look at this. These cards do this. Like, think about this. You know, because like she won like 2 games when we first started playing. When I was playing with the deck that my other daughter made, and so she was just like, now that she's losing every game.
Oh wow!
You can't
like-
do that to her. She's gonna
gonna
give
hate
up.
the game.
She's gonna hate it.
That's why tonight I was like, hey, look at this. And I even played with her deck to show her how great it is. And just for her to realize, like, look, you can do this and this. So she's learning. She's learning. So her problem is she really likes the cards. And she's like, I don't want to get rid of this card. It's such a cool card. I'm like, yeah, but baby, it's like a level 5, 6, or 7. And you need other stuff. You know, you need to get out there quickly. So, but she wants to be on the show as our Lorcana supervisor, and she wants to beat Kent. I hear that every time we play. She's like, "Do you think I could beat Kent? Do you think I could beat Kent?" And Dad, if you need anybody for Lorcana on the show, you just let me know. I can come on the show and I'll talk about it.
My problem is people always know what's in my hand because I just start singing all the names on the cards or like singing songs with the names of the people in there. Like I'm just constantly singing Disney songs the whole time.
You got like an Aladdin deck. You just go through like the whole soundtrack.
Yeah.
How does it feel now that Lorcana is the second best Disney's TCG under Star Wars
What's-
Unlimited?
Yeah.
I can't speak to that. I've never played Star Wars Unlimited.
It's so good.
I can't afford it though.
Is it worse than Lorcana?
Oh, it's personally,
People like
I
it better.
think
Some people like it better.
I think the gameplay is a lot better than Lorcana, personally.
Really?
But I'm not getting like into either of them. But I really enjoy the Star Wars deck building game, and it has a lot of those vibes. But it's an actual TCG, and it just feels like they took all the greatest hits. I said this in the review, but they took all the greatest hits of like collectible card games and kind of like made a game around that. It's like you start with, imagine if you started in Lorcana with like 2 Inkwells in play. And any card can be used as an Inkwell, not just the cards that have the specific symbol. So any card can be. And every single turn you draw 2 cards instead of just 1, and you choose one of the cards out of your hand to become an Inkwell. I'm using terminology from Lorcana and from Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're called resources in Star Wars. But you have a leader that has a special ability that you can use resources to be able to trigger its ability, but also once you get a certain number of resources out, it becomes an actual unit into play for free, like unexhausted, and then it can attack as well. But you have 2 battlefields, and you have like the space battlefield where you have all your like spaceships and stuff that can attack, and then you have the ground battlefield where you have all your ground units that can attack, and only one side can block the other, but you can always kind of get through unless they have characters with like, it's like Sentinel or or like defend or something like that makes it so you can't get through. It's basically taunt in Hearthstone.
Like Bodyguard and Lorcana.
Exactly, like Bodyguard and Lorcana. So Bodyguard makes it so you can't
Attack other characters, but similar
yeah,
idea.
but yeah,
it forces you to target that first.
If there was,
But you can still get through in quests.
Is there an ability
Yeah,
in Lorcana where you can't quest until this character's dead?
Yes.
What's that?
Mother
keyword,
Gothel
though?
does that.
Oh, there's not a keyword for it though.
No.
Gotcha. Anyway, basically it's that. There's characters
yeah.
that have that in the game, which is very much like taunt in Hearthstone. You know, so you can't attack. But this feels like Hearthstone mixed with Lorcana, mixed with Magic the Gathering, mixed with everything. It's like everything all together, but Star Wars themed. The main thing is like, I don't really like the way the game looks. You know, I think the graphic design and art is kind of meh, but I think the gameplay is really good. But I'm still not going to play a collectible card game because I can't afford it. So.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Is the Star Wars deck game, like the one that just came out like a year or two ago, is that still good?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's still good.
I have it. It's right here. I got it for Ruthie for Christmas, but yeah, it's really good.
Is the starter deck for the Star Wars Unlimited worth it? I mean, is it just?
I think so.
Just
Honestly, that's another thing that I liked about Star Wars Unlimited is basically all the cards that I played with or all the cards I saw.
Don't let him do it, Courtney.
Felt like
Roy, say it's bad.
Oh, sorry. I
so
just
dumb,
start
Ken.
lying.
It's
Start
so
lying about
stupid.
it. Oh, it sucks. No. I think
those
that
starting
most of the
decks,
cards
oh
that
my
I played
gosh.
with have some utility, and like in Lorcana, sometimes we'll open booster packs or look at cards, and there's a lot of cards that are just chaff. You know,
There's a lot, yeah.
it's like you're not going to play them ever. In the Star Wars card game, it seems like every card I saw had some sort of use. You know, and some cards I'm sure are better than others. Sorry if I cough a lot. I've had a lot of congestion going on. Sorry, everyone.
Well, it's
like
because
it's going
of all
around.
that Star Wars Unlimited crap on how terrible it is and how Kent doesn't need it.
I'm becoming more and more like Darth Vader.
I just can't get no more time. Hey, Roy, is a starter deck worth it? Should I just get a starter deck?
You could get
Roy?
just the starter deck and play with just that and treat it like it was
just-
Star Wars: The Deck Building.
Yeah, right.
I won't get any Lorcana cards, Courtney. Just let me get the starter deck. I'll get one and you get one so we can try it out. Let me just get two.
I think the starter deck has both. It's all you need to play.
Yeah, it's all you
It
need
has
to play.
both decks.
Yeah,
You
and
just
it,
get one. You just get that box.
Courtney,
and
it's a deal. We can get it for one.
It's already all inclusive.
It's already
I've thought about getting just
you
the starter
can find
decks
it
for
anywhere.
myself.
I think the starter decks are easy to
the
find.
starter
I think
decks are easy to find. The booster packs are going to be hard. Yeah.
See, baby, I got
Anyway,
it.
I don't-
Got it. You can get it.
I don't know why we're talking about this before the news and stuff.
I was going to say,
but
welcome to Epic
Anyway.
Gaming Night, the podcast where we sell each other games.
That's literally... We're
This
like
week,
the
Star Wars
opposite of an AA meeting. It's like we're not helping each other like stop our addiction. We're just
No, we did
enabling
that
it.
one episode about coloring games, and then between Kent and I and Matt, we bought like
I was
50
all
new
about
games
Cullen.
within
You
like a
guys
month.
were like, maybe we should just go ahead and get new games.
Yeah.
Mine was like just buy more shelves. Don't cull. Just buy more shelves.
Yeah.
I'm all about
Organize, don't cull.
Cullen. I need to call 300 games or so.
Well, you coming to Dice Tower East?
Hey,
this year?
Recon's coming up Memorial Weekend. Are you going to
You are
come
coming
down?
to Dice Tower East?
We're coming to Dice Series. I don't
Yes.
Recon. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that.
Dang, I
Memorial
wish I
Weekend.
could go to Recon. I'm going to BGG Spring for the first time ever. So if anybody
nice.
Is that in
stops by
Texas
there-
still?
Yeah, it's in Texas.
Yeah.
I think.
Was that in
I-
Dallas?
I think it's in the airport in Dallas.
Man,
Heck,
good
I'm-
food in Dallas.
I might have to get some liquid. But yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the news.
Go,
you can
go
go, get
ahead
some
and talk
liquid.
about the news, and then I will get some water so I stop coughing every 2 seconds. Hey,
Well,
Simon, our weekly Simon update. Somebody talk about Simon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
once again, it's
Is
like
this about-
they stopped doing stuff on Kickstarter, and they're like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hammer Game Found. We've got
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 releases this month.
They
Come
knew.
on.
They knew they were coming out with GameFound, and they come out strong. Is this the one about the Plague Bear?
This is Plague Bear. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Plague
what is
Bear, for those that don't know, it is coming out. It's not out just yet. It's going to go for pre-order. They're not doing a campaign like they've done with other GameFounds or Kickstarters. This is going to be a pre-order. It's kind of like the Dead Man's Tale or the Dead Keep. The Dead Keep. It's going to be pre-order. It starts in May. It is basically Zombie Side, the role-playing game. The dice even use the Zombie Side dice. And you are doing a campaign in the Zombie Side world, which I kind of like. Because if you're going to do an RPG and you have Zombie Side, it's specifically Zombie Side Black Plague. So if you already have Black Plague, you could use those maps as part of like your map for your world to help build table presence and stuff like that. And I thought I would include it in here. One, just because like what you guys were saying, all of a sudden we've just been bombarded with so much CMON stuff that has been coming out. And I guess since I backed a couple, they're notifying me of all this stuff. Like, hey, we'll take more games, please.
We'll take more of your money.
Yes. And so, and I'm getting more and more into the RPG side of stuff. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. And I always thought Zombicide could be a cool RPG. So it's cool to see how this one plays out. But with like what you guys were saying, I'm interested to know how many games they are holding, or they were holding now that once they knew they were in talks to go exclusive with GameFound. Because typically deals like that are months, if not years in advance. Like they don't just happen. And so I'm wanting to know what all they were doing. And I hope that they don't just drop everything they did on Kickstarter, because I'm still waiting on some CMON games from Kickstarter as well.
That's crazy. It's crazy to me how many games they're coming out with.
It's
That's a lot.
It's like they're not even waiting in between paychecks for people, you know?
No, and
They're announcing a lot more regularly now. Previously, it would seem like they'd finish a campaign and announce the next campaign. That would be the only one they'd be talking about. Now it's like, here's 4 or 5.
Yeah, because the Dead Keep is still going on for pre-order.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Which I guess that was the reason why they left Kickstarter, right? It was like Kickstarter was like, you can only run one project at a time, and they're like, wow, this really
Slows things down.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Which, you know, if you just did more, I guess, direct retail sales, you wouldn't necessarily have that problem. But their big box stuff, they wanted run campaigns and drum up FOMO.
Also, notice this is a pre-order, not a campaign, not like a. So, what do you all think about that? I mean, that's kind of interesting too. And they're using GameFound for pre-order versus.
Well, they did that with the Dead Keep. So I want to see how all that turns out. I don't know. I don't have a problem with that. I wish they would have done something like this with Stranger Things, the board game, because that was also CMON, and it just went straight to retail. I wish they would have done something with GameFound, like a pre-order where you could at least get an idea or see what was going on. So if they're doing that from now on, before this hits like the Barnes and Nobles or you know, like the Targets of the world, then I'm okay to get that little preview before it just, you know, hits the shelves. I do like the idea of having like some exclusivity, and there's really not. Like the Dead Keep, for example, it's exclusive in some of the art and some of the characters, but like it's not going to be exclusive where other people won't be able to get that mini. They're just mini will look different. So it's not bad. The main thing I like about it is you're not having to wait years. Like, for example, they're saying that Dead Keep is going to launch, I think, either later this year or like March of next year. Like it's under a year by the time it comes out. So that's my biggest issue, because I'm still waiting on Trudvang, and that was like pre-COVID.
That's
Bro.
crazy.
Well, that game's special.
Yeah, that game has some
next step.
special
I feel like
issues.
that's not a normal.
No, but for example, since then, I have backed Zombicide. I backed several Kickstarter. I've backed three zombie Kickstarters this month.
Zombicide Marvels came in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Through
Zombicide Marvels is just coming in. Hopefully, my Zombicide White Death will come in later this year, and then DC's Zombies comes in next year. And then I also have that one British game, The Island with the Britons and stuff like that. Roy did. They played it on their
Mordred?
show. Mordred, yeah, I'm super excited
yeah.
for Mordred. That's still coming, and there's all these other ones. So I'm hoping with all this stuff happening that they're able to still fulfill what they're saying and just not get too ahead of themselves. I don't want this to become like a what was that? Time of Legends, that company that just went belly up. They were using games to try to back their
Mythic.
Mythic.
yeah. They were just basically taking money to keep the payroll going until they didn't have enough projects going at a time to keep it up. So, and we'll see. But that's Black Plague Bear the RPG.
This next one, I was like, oh yeah, I can't believe Ken didn't put the Lorcana solo thing in the news, or the co-op new thing in the news. And Rob's like, oh yeah, he did. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, he did.
Yeah. So this is the upcoming Lorcana set is coming out in May. This is set number 4. But I mean, and that's not something we would normally report on, I'd say, for this show. But what is worth reporting on is that this set is unique in that it is a co-op or solo expansion. So it gives you a big boss to fight against, which is Ursula. It has 2 pre-constructed decks in it, and you can either play by yourself or work together with one other player to kind of fight the big bad. There's different difficulty levels. You can also, I think you can use almost any Lorcana deck to do this encounter. Or you can just upgrade the decks that come in here to make it easier, or you can just play with the pre-constructed decks, I think. But it's just kind of an interesting way to approach this, and I wonder if it's just because Ravensburger is, they do a lot of board games and stuff like that, and this is maybe their first TCG. So it's maybe a way to get more people into the Lorcana who aren't as interested in fighting each other or head-to-head kind of stuff. Because I know a lot of people who really don't care about the actual gameplay of Lorcana, or they don't care about the head-to-head aspect of it. And it's just another avenue for them to get into the game and play. So I think it's pretty cool.
Here's the thing for me. Like, I know that I'm not going to be able to keep up with the Joneses or keep up with the people that play super hardcore and buy all the stuff.
Yes.
But when you're playing cooperatively, that literally doesn't matter because you're playing against the enemy deck there. My favorite game of all time is Marvel Champions, which is this kind of thing. It's like you're playing your collectible card game style deck against an enemy, like players versus enemy, PvE or whatever. Ashes came out with a very similar thing to this, which like reinvigorated Ashes for me. Like, I love playing Ashes. Like, I played Ashes solo and just did a review of the new set of that. Like, I love playing it that way. Like, I have a bunch of Lorcana stuff that I haven't really messed with because I don't really want to, the people that play it hardcore are going to be too hardcore. The people that don't play it hardcore, I'm probably like in the middle there just because I'm decent at CCGs. So I can't play against casual people. I can't play against really good people. So this allows me to actually play the game at my own pace. So, I mean, I am actually really interested in getting this. And then I might actually play Lorcana, I might not get more stuff, but I'll build decks and play with the stuff that I have and see how I can go up against Ursula and play against this. This seems like a pretty cool thing, especially for the way I like to play games, and especially card games. This is kind of a really cool thing for me.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. It's a really good idea.
And even if they just come out with like one, like they could do, I mean, there's so many villains in Disney, they could do like one set, co-op set every year or something like that. Yeah. That could be a new boss to fight, which I think would be fun too. Just a way to add more content to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Ashes was what I was thinking about too. I think that's a smart way of sort of rebranding Lorcana because of the Star Wars and other games that are constantly coming onto the market. And sounds like Star Wars Unlimited is starting to take a chunk. So yeah, this will be fun. I'm excited to see how it plays. My daughters are already wanting to know.
Yeah, you can play with your daughter for sure. It'd be a great 2-player, I'm sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to try this out. Just because I have a bunch of Lorcana cards that I'm sitting on that I'm like, hey, I would actually bring them out and build decks and like go up against this.
Yeah.
I love.
So it says May 17th is hitting game stores, and then I think the 31st of May is when it's regular retail, like Target and stuff.
Yeah. Nice. The next one here is a dice game. I don't know a whole lot about it. It's from Chip Theory. Is it the same artist as the guy who did Radlands? Maybe it's the same artist. The artist who did Radlands also designed this game. Is that what this is?
Okay, so apparently the designer of Dice Throne is the same as the artist of Dice Throne. So the person who designed Dice Throne did the art, I guess, which I did not know, which is crazy to me. And then that same artist did Wonderland's War and Radlands, and then different designers did those games. So this is they say it's like a streamlined area control game, asymmetrical area control game. And the art is just crazy. It's really cool looking, and it's very very colorful. But it says it's like Chip Theory's simplest game, which is for Chip Theory games, it's probably
like a normal weight.
Still be a normal weight game, yeah, maybe. But it says it plays in 60 minutes, which I don't know how true that is. But essentially, it's like you roll a bunch of dice in the beginning of the round. Everyone drafts dice, and those determine what you're going to be able to do. So you're ultimately trying to control areas on the board, and those dice let you do different actions. So you're going to have to prioritize what you want to focus on, and then you can always spend 2 dice to count as any action. And then each faction has a special kind of unique stuff going on that's a little bit different that lets you kind of break rules in some way or another. But it seems very the look is very clean. It's got very nice, like the components are very minimalistic, but they're very like they look very well done and very sharp, I'd say, on the table.
With any chip theory game, I guess. I feel like you're gonna get that. Yeah.
And it does have a solo and co-op mode. I don't know how that's going to be compared to the base game, which is kind of interesting too. But I would say it looks like it might be a fun game if you like area control or kind of more straightforward area control. That's not so you're not going to play it for. Doesn't look like you're going to be playing it for 3 hours.
I like area control.
Yeah, so it looks pretty neat. And I like chip theory games, so that's what I was looking into.
Nice.
I wonder if it's gonna be like Awaken Realms doing an easy game. You know, it's like
I really don't know. There is a rule book available online. I haven't looked through it. I just kind of went through the Kickstarter page and looked through the kind of the basics how it played. But
that's cool.
Yeah, you can check out the rules if you're interested.
Next one is how do you even read that?
It's the Genesis.
I'm just gonna look at the
font is
the text down in the corner because I can't read the font on the actual the.
I like the font, but it is hard to read. But I like it just because it's cool and it's funky. The Genesis is a new game that is coming out with Cool Mini or Not. It's a campaign preview, and so this is a one versus many. It's a 2 to 5 player game. It's a board game set in an apocalyptic vision of Europe in the year 2598, depicting the desperate conflict between two diametrically opposed factions. There's the cults and the clans. And so you're going to pick a character in either one of those groups. And you're going to be, semi-cooperative tactical scale skirmish war game where up to 4 players take on the role of individual cult operatives fighting in key conflicts across the front lines of the Black Lung. But then there's one guy who's the hostile. He's actually called the hostile. He's the final player. He commands the hordes of the enemy clans and stuff like that. The reason why I brought this one up is, one, I got the notification from Coolmon. Hey, man, while you're spending money with us, go ahead and look at this one. And then
nice.
I still love the old Mansions of Madness 1 versus many type of a thing. And so when I saw that they were doing this, I was like, oh, this should be something cool to mention. And so the little bit of the artwork and stuff that I've seen and that they show, because I'm sure this is all still pretty prototype, looks cool to me. I like it. I love Cool Mini or Not. I own a lot of their games. And I also love the idea of one versus many. I like a futuristic sci-fi sort of world, and that's what we're getting here. And so I'm interested to learn more. I know it's still early, so I apologize if I put it on the news too soon, since we still have a while before it comes out. But
do we know who the design team is?
I thought it looked cool, and they just started to announce it, I think, earlier this week. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've just recently started to hear about this one. But it looks like a lot of fun. And with Cool Mini or Not, those games aren't too crazy to learn. So this is not going to be like an Awaken Realms type of style game. So we'll see. But the Genesis Clan Wars.
Interesting. It is supposed to be an asymmetric war game, and my favorite CMON game from this past year was an asymmetric war game.
That technically came out this year.
Oh, technically came out this year. From this year, is asymmetric war game. So we'll see. It's not by the same design team or anything though. So
looks like new designers. At least they're not on BGG for anything.
One of the designers has some other games, but nothing like that's super stood out to me. So yeah.
But the minis are going to be amazing. Guillotine, I think that's who's doing the minis for them. Guillotine always does a great job with their minis. And so I think it's Guillotine. It may not be, but with their minis, I'm excited for that as well as the gameplay. I want to see how it goes. The one versus many. I think it's Guillotine because I know like in today's with their minis, they don't do that so much anymore. It's like they'll have an app run it for you. But I like it where we're all picking on Ken on purpose. Where it's like purpose, like one versus or everybody versus Ken, rather than Ken being on your team, but not really being on your team. I'd rather just definitively know Kent's not on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes we just like to pick on Rob and just, vote him off.
Y'all do pick on me. But you guys love me. It's what's so crazy is you pick on me so hard, but then you also love me so hard. So it's like, all right, how it's like a give and a take, a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
Also, be careful for anybody out there, and I'm going to go ahead and do a TSA for anybody out there on Facebook. If there is a going out of sale deal for a board game store, it's fake. Don't click on the link. Bro, I was so excited. I even called Kent. I was like, man, Kent.
Did you almost get fished or
Oh, no, I got fished, bro.
Oh, they got you.
Yeah, but it wasn't too bad. It was only like 50 something dollars. But I should have realized something was up because I had over $400 worth of games. And they were like, because you're ordering so many games, we're giving you 83% off. I was like, bet. Like, I'm going to add more stuff. And at the end, the last 2 games I added, my price actually went down. And I was like, But if this is real,
think of the value,
right? If this is, bro, I was so excited.
How much time did you waste on this? Holy smokes!
Kent was like, I think you just lost your money because this is a con. And he said, Rob, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. And he was right, and he was amazing. But yeah, so if you've seen those ads of like, hey, the company's going out of business, fire sale, order now. Don't do it.
Where did you see the thing? Was it on Facebook?
It was on Facebook. It was an ad.
Smokes. I hate that Facebook can let ads like that get through. That is like
well, a lot of the stores, they pop up so quick and they just change their website and just pop up.
Oh yeah, as soon as I got done clicking on it, it left. The ad was no longer on there. You couldn't find the ad or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got their one person.
Yeah. Yeah, I paid their salary for that day. Because man, I was adding some stuff like I probably had close to 30 or 40 games that were on there and some like big box games, like some huge big box games. I was like, man, this is amazing. Like if it was real, I was about to text all of you guys, hey, get on Facebook right now. There's a sale. But there's not. So don't click on that stuff. Go to GameFound and look at games like the Genesis. They're real. Ads are not real.
Wow. All right. So the next game here is Rebirth by Reiner Knizia. Look at that. Look at that airship.
Look at that. Look at this cover.
I know.
Just take a look at this cover. This cover is probably one of the prettiest covers I've seen in a long time.
It is kind of crazy.
Yep,
like, are those gorgeous. Like
it's so good looking?
Are those greenhouses with like the reflection of the sky in them?
It's possible. So this is supposed to be. It's like the setting is a post-apocalyptic, sort of post-apocalyptic thing. The Earth got all messed up, and now people are coming together to try to, make it nice. And essentially, it's a tile laying game. So it says Reiner Knizia game. Which, so it'll probably have decent mechanisms. I don't know how well the theme's going to come through, but it's going to, hopefully if the art is anything like the cover, it'll just be really pretty to look at if you're building you're doing the tile laying thing. And it almost sounds like a communal tile laying thing, like Carcassonne style. So from Board Game Geek, the tagline is an old school tiling your game from Reiner Knizia with modern sensibilities. So I think all you're doing in a turn is drawing a tile from your personal selection of tiles, and you're placing it out to a board. And just trying to build it, do the best you can for scoring and that kind of thing. It sounds very simple. It says it plays it only takes about an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And it is 2 to 4 players. But with Reiner Knizia, he does a pretty good job with a lot of his like tile laying games and just his more family way games. So I'm just really curious about what this is going to be like, first of all. And just how gorgeous the cover is and how it looks. So I'm curious about it. It may not work out for most people, but who knows? So it's something I was interested in. It's coming out to Kickstarter soon. They haven't announced an official date, but it looks pretty cool.
Nice.
And Robin mentioned Hamlet. I think this is the same publisher of Hamlet, and I don't know if there's any kind of connection to.
Ooh, okay. That's
I don't know if they're gonna.
Stack of Shame.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of that, tiling, city building kind of stuff is going to come through in this one. But it's something to keep an eye on, I think.
SOS. Stack of Shame. SOS. Yeah. It's like that stack is sending out an SOS. Like, please play me. I'm going to use that from now on. That's my SOS thing. But we will know it's really Stack of Shame. Like it's dirt.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Well, we can get into the games we've been playing.
I'm so excited.
There's so much spice flowing this week. Let's talk about Matt's game first.
Oh man, so I played Dune Imperium, but not physically, digitally, because Direwolf Digital has come out with Dune Imperium on Steam. So I've been playing it for a bit. And I've had a really odd reaction to it. It's good. It's enjoyable to play. But for some odd reason, the more I play it, the less I like the game.
What?
Oh, wow.
Really?
And I don't know what it is. I think it's just me, because the game's great. The mechanics are great. It's just the more I play it, the less I want to play it. And I don't know if it's doing that thing where I'm playing it too much, and it's just like, all right, it's just chill out.
Are you playing with random people or against AI?
Just against AI.
Interesting.
If I played against random people, I get smoked. But the AI does a good job of that already. So I don't need to take that big of a hit to my self-esteem. But no, I don't. It's a good game. It's a good implementation digitally. It's enjoyable. It's fun. I just for some odd reason I think I'm just playing it too much.
Stop.
It's
So do you get that same feeling when you play Wingspan digital? Or do you want to keep playing it, or can you burn yourself out on that too?
Not really. I don't know what it is about Wingspan, but like I'll play Wingspan and I'll just be like, that was cool. I don't necessarily have this same feeling like when I first played Wingspan, where I was like, man, if I just had another turn, you guys want to run that back? Let's do it again.
Is Wingspan like your new Solitaire?
Kinda, yeah. It's like this is going to be bad. I was playing EVE Online, an MMO game, on my computer the other day, and I was like, man, this is a really boring space game where a bunch of stuff is happening that I don't really need to interact with for like minutes. So I pulled out my Steam Deck and set it in front of me and was playing Wingspan on my Steam Deck and playing another game on my computer and then watching a third stream over here. And I was just like, okay, maybe
ADD at its finest.
maybe
Yeah.
I need to take a step back here. That was a lot, but yeah. So I don't know. It's still a good game. I still like the mechanics of Dune Imperium and all that. I just I think I'm burning myself out on it.
Which part do you think that you're burning yourself out on?
I don't know. It's just something I guess about the implementation. Like the more I play it, it's sort of like the drier it feels, or I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to, like, you know how when you play a game, I don't know if this is how it works for all of you guys, because you guys are very smart people, but like I don't look at the mechanics and go, okay, if I do this, it scores this many points, and if I do that, that scores this many points, and this will set me up in a position. I'm just like, cool, big card fights things, love this, that's great. And I just sort of do that, and I've gotten to the point where with Dune Imperium where I'm, I guess, noticing more of the stuff behind the scenes, and that kind of takes the childlike wonder and joy that I had from it away, just because I'm looking at it more analytically.
Gotcha, yeah.
I would think that would come with playing the game more.
Yeah.
It can definitely be a very, like, heady game, especially when you're like, okay, how do I do this, or what am I going to do with this, and, like, trying to, like, cull your deck, or, like, make your deck work just right, or being like, okay, which combat do I actually need to win? Like,
right.
All right, I really need to get some more intrigue cards so that way I can do that surprise with a little bit of extra combat that they aren't expecting. But like, this is the one I really need to win, but it's going to push me up on this track, which will push me over that player, you know? And at that point, and that is very much what Dune Imperium happens a lot. And at that point, you're not talking about spice must flow and like, or like actual like spice or like sandworms or like any of the actual intrigue. You're just talking about how can I maximize points. But I mean, it's very much a Euro game when it comes to that sort of thing, you know. So
it definitely has like a politicking feel, but like when you're playing against the AI, there's no table talk. There's no sort of
the thing about
going on.
The thing about this implementation for me is like it literally came out the same time that Uprising came out, and like I really don't want to go back and play regular Dune Imperium. Like, I don't think I'm going to. I played Uprising. I really enjoy the spies. I really enjoy the sandworm stuff. I enjoy the new characters. I enjoy what they've added to the game, and I think they made it better. So it's like the fact that they made the digital version of the original game at the same time they came out with a better game is kind of like a weird thing for me a little bit. It's like, dang, I just want to play the new game. I don't want to play the old one.
Timing.
There's no expansion of the digital version yet, are there?
No, I don't think so. I think it just came out of early access like a couple of months ago. So, Yeah, once the expansions come out, I'll pick those up, and it'll probably be I'll be right back in it. But yeah, Dune Imperium.
We should play Uprising because I haven't played Uprising, and so Matt, we should try to get together and some face-to-face time play Uprising because I'd love to.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah,
it's on my SOS.
Mm-hmm.
Here's mine.
All the games.
Yep.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about another Dune game.
Let's keep the spice flowing.
There we go.
Let's do it.
I love this game. I literally love this game.
Okay. I got to play. Now, it was very tough for me. It was a business meeting. And so I got to play with a past client of mine, which that's one of the things I love about real estate is I try to do a good job with my people and I try to become friendly. And so I find out what they like and stuff. And this couple, they like board games because I knew when I was selling their house, I saw their shelves. I was like, ooh, you guys have more than just Monopoly and Catan. You guys are actually like gamers. So let's talk. So anyway, long story short, we played Dune. Man, is this game amazing. To me, I don't see the whole War of the Ring thing the same as some people have. Like,
well, the dice action selection is the same thing.
That's like the only similar. Like, I don't know. This to me, I love Dune War of Arrakis. Dune War of Arrakis. Essentially, it's a 2-player game, which I know you can play with like 3 or 4 people, but essentially, it's a 2-player game. It's like playing Star Wars Rebellion with multiple people. It's a 2-player game. Right, so Dune War of Arrakis, one team is a Harkonnen, the other team is a Fremen, and the Harkonnen are the what?
I like the way you say Harkonnen.
Harkonnen is
or
it's Harkonnen, right? Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Harkonnen. It's the Harkonnen.
I love it. That's fine. It's a fantasy word. You can say it however you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's fantasy name.
Frank Herbert's dead. We can't confirm.
It's the Hoobie Goobies versus the Frisbees.
There we go.
And so what the Hoobie Goobies are trying to do is they're trying to eliminate the bases of the Frisbees. And the Frisbees are trying to do these special side missions where they have these 3 colors. It's red, yellow, and green. And they may have a secret mission. And their mission might say, hey, to win the game, you need to have 8 green, 5 yellow, and like 4 red. Right, and so they're going around and they're trying to get these little bases and flip them over or do these special side missions. There will be side missions that are only for the Frisbees, aka Fremen, because that will give them the colors. And so you won't know when the Frisbees, aka Fremen, are trying to win the game. They'll just automatically win when they win. The Harkonnen or the Hoobie Joobies, they win when they destroy enough of the Frisbee bases. And underneath the Frisbee bases, they have points on them. And so you might be able to destroy a base and it's only got 1 point. You might destroy another base and it's got 3 points. You can't look at those numbers, but the Fremen, a.k.a. Frisbees, can look at those numbers. And so you're running around, and the Frisbees, they have this really cool power. They start off with less dice than you. So as the Harkonnen, you start off, I think, with 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, you start off with 8 dice. That's only going to last the first round. If you're the Harkonnen, get over it. You're only going to have 8 dice the very first round. If you have 8 dice round 2, then the person playing the Fremen don't know what they're doing and just switch. Because anyway, and we can get into that. The Fremen, they have this ability. They have sand power, and as long as they don't have as many used dice as the Harkonnen have, they can do sand power, and it doesn't cost them a dice. And that's like where they can put out tokens to move the sandworms, or they can do stuff with the sandworms, or they can move their armies via the sandworms and stuff like that. And the good thing that does, though, for the Harkonnen is the more dice you lose and the more your dice drop down. Even though you're losing, you gain at the same time. So you start off the game with like getting 3 spice collector machines. After you lose a couple dice, you now may be up to 4 or 5 spice collector, and you'll get like 3 or 4 of the helicopters, and you get a bunch of other stuff. So it's a give and a take. It's all not just a loss. However, I felt like this game, I don't know if you like this game, Ken. I want you to like it, but this game to me was very head-to-head. This was just like there's not really a lot of politics behind the game. I have my army, and my sole objective is to destroy your army if I'm the Harkonnen, because that's how I get my points. I have to literally attack as many of your bases as possible until I find enough 10 points to win the game. The Fremen, they're running around trying to do their secret missions. I guess the Fremen are the only ones that have some special side stuff where, like, okay, you may not want to attack. For example, I was playing with my friend. He had a mission where if he had 2 guys, like on a mountain pass, and a guy in this specific tile of sided of sand, he would get points. So they're not always about attacking, but it's pretty much my army or my team versus your team. Now, what's also cool about the game is you can, you don't really upgrade your characters, but you can add new characters to the game. So, like I had this one guy, if you've seen the movies, Dave Bautista, he's like the big Harkonnen guy, the Beast. You know, I drew this card that allowed me to have the guy from the Dune Part 2 with the daggers, with the bald head, who's like, you know, licking the blades and stuff.
Fade.
Man, he comes out and he does a move where he can move and attack. Because typically you can only move. You can't move and attack. So, or you can get the Emperor out. And also your moves are limited on what you roll on your dice. See, at the very beginning of the round, after you do your other setup stuff, then you roll your dice. And on the boards, and then you're only seeing the Harkonnen inside, on the board there's these slots. And wherever your dice go, whatever you roll, they go into those slots. So if you don't roll attack, you don't attack that round. Unless you get a card that says you can do an attack or you get a special ability. The game was amazing. We set up the game and learned how to play the game and played a full game in right under 3 hours. Which, if you're a fan of War of the Ring, that's actually a pretty quick game. And that was with us learning. There was even one point where we had to call Roy because I had a question about what it's one of the
carry-all.
The carry-all. For like the first 3 rounds, we did not do that. So when he was just killing my spice machines, like I just lost him. And we were like, well, the carry-all is dumb. Like this is just like not doing anything. So I lost a bunch of spice production, and my guy dropped real quick because his worms, man, the worms can reach from like 2 zones away.
Dude,
and
yeah,
if you backed
rough.
it, oh man, it's ridiculous. And the minis are so cool. And so these worms, they're just, now once the worm eats something, it's very powerful. But once it eats something, it goes away. But they keep popping up. And so one of the things that I did, if you're a Harkonnen, I had good success with this. The Harkonnen have amazing cards, so I was using a lot of their cards to be able to play different things, to do different things. I wiped out one whole side of the map of all their bases, and then I did all of my spice collecting in that corner, and I kind of got rid of their armies, and I made him use his worms to try to kill my harvesters. But then after calling Roy and him saying, hey, you basically can like save a harvester with this, like I was able to jump up with my spice flow. But that's a fun aspect of the game is because when you don't harvest the spice, when you go down, you get penalty cards against you when you're the Harkonnen. And so the game was just a lot of fun. If you've watched the movies, this board game is Dune Part 2.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the second movie through and through. It's absolutely amazing. It's a lot of fun. I would love playing it again. I would love to play with you, Kent. I just don't know if you would like it as much as I would because it is more head-to-head. It's not that so
it's
much.
straight up an asymmetrical war game where one side just has out like a ton more units than the other, but the other side has all these secret objectives they're trying to do. Yeah. Which, you know, it feels like that part feels like Star Wars Rebellion, you know? Like Star Wars Rebellion is very much that way. You know, the Empire has tons and tons of stuff, and then the rebels are trying to do these secret missions to like mess up the Empire.
But that's how those movies were. That's how the movies were, and that's how this was too.
I love this game.
So much fun. Absolutely love it. The presentation is gorgeous. The minis turned out really well.
The dice action selection is fun. I mean, it's like, man, as the Fremen, you're like, please let me get some deployment so I can like defend my sieges, like because the Harkonnen are outnumbering you so much, and like there's so many strategic plays. But the thing is, like, you can kind of see where the Harkonnen are going to strike. It's like, oh, they have a Thopter over there. They're going to fly in on me on this side somewhere. So it's like, okay, let me defend this one. Let me defend this one. It's like,
because you've got to pre-set up your hoppers.
Yeah.
So they're by zones. So you'll know, okay, if this hopper is in this area, it can only go to a couple things in this zone and stuff. And the Harkonnen, they do come out with a lot of guys, but a lot of their deployment guys are in their cities. And so they're slow to get out there. But when they finally arrive, they arrive with big numbers. And they can be sort of slow.
The crazy thing, too, is like the sieges for all of the Fremen, whenever you flip it over, if it's a 1-point value, you get to add 1 die. If it's a 3-point value, you get to add 3 dice to your side of the combat. So if you reveal a 3, you are going to be crushing the Harkonnen back, and they're going to have to fight really hard to get that siege. And like I played against Sam, and like all I needed was a 3-point siege to win, and I attacked it like 3 times, and I could not take that thing out. I just kept running out of units. I reinforced, attacked again, ran out of units. Like he just kept crushing me on this one siege just because it was a 3-point siege, and all I needed was just that one to win the game. And yeah, they can lead to really, really epic moments when you're playing the game. I shot like rockets at it and stuff to blow up more guys, and still didn't have like what I needed to like take it out. And I'm like, we had to like leave because he had to catch a flight and I had to like go to lunch or whatever. But I was like, all right, I'm attacking you one more time. If I beat you, I win the game. Obviously, if you beat me, I'll say it's a moral victory and you can win the game. And I couldn't roll with crap, and he ended up beating me. I'm like, dang it, freaking.
It's so much fun. And the card play is a big part of the game.
Yeah.
And the cards do help make up if you are missing some of the dice and they don't roll your way, but they don't make up for everything. But I really enjoyed it. It's not as difficult to learn as it looks. It looks like for like a new gamer, it looks like it could be a lot, but it's really not. But it's just so pretty.
It has a lot of the DNA of War of the Ring, but it's way quicker. And it's just as thematic, it's extremely thematic, and you can jump into it easier. It's easier to get to play. And the fact that the cards kind of say what they do, like with all the characters and stuff, they just help you with how your actions work, So it makes it just way simpler. That player board makes it easy to play the game,
Man, I didn't realize about the worms when your teams are outside of the mountains and in the desert.
Oh, you just get pelted. Harkonnens suck at being in the desert. They suck.
He had 4 worms pop up because whenever you have a Harkonnen army out in the desert, he gets to put down a worm token. And if you're on the edge of the board, it either has to be a worm token or just a spotting of a worm moving and it'll pop up. If you're not on the edge of the board, then it has to be the worm. And then some of them are blank. He got real lucky. And all my guys, when the worms pop up, it does allow the Harkonnen to retreat or to move back 1 space, but the worms can still reach for 2. So even if you try to move again, you're still in the worm's reach, and they hit so hard. Like you roll so many dice, and they just go away.
Well, on top of that, they just roll for the desert every single round when they're out there, and they just automatically get wrecked. So it's like you have to hide in the mountains as the Harkonnen because you don't know how to walk through the sand. You don't know how to live in the desert. You're just there to collect spice. You're just there to collect spice and like do your job and crush Fremen. But like you don't know what you're doing. It feels so thematic. And
I played like the movie. Like I would go and attack, and then I quickly try to go back.
You have to
as quickly
as possible.
No, after like the second round, I was like, I'm gonna get eaten. Yeah.
I had a moment where I was the beast and I was running away, and I'm like, it makes sense, It's like I'm gonna get crushed if I stay out here. These Fremen are crushing me, It was mostly the desert and the worms, but
This is definitely I want to play it again. And I want to play as the Fremen. This is definitely a top 20 game of all time for me. Maybe top 15 or towards the top end of the top 10. If I played again, it would probably go up more. I would just want to play as the Fremen, aka Frisbees, to see how balanced it is. Because I think you'd really
enjoy them because the missions is fun to do, like trying to figure out how to figure that out. Because you're not trying to crush, because you can't crush. You're just trying to hold on and do those missions,
So it's a great game. If anybody who backed it, you got a deal. And I'm excited to play with the Smugglers and the Outworlders or the Outliers or whatever expansion is. We just played with the base game, and it was more than enough.
All right.
And can I put out there probably one of the best box arts I've seen in a long time?
Would you say that it's your favorite CMON game? No, I'm just kidding. Not yet. I said it was my favorite CMON game, which is crazy to say because I love CMON games. Well, there's some really
it's my favorite CMON looking game or the box art. I love the box art. That dual-sided and then the blue and the red or that orangey thing. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Don't judge me that my Dice Tower or that my copy is still in shrink because I played the Dice Tower one. But like the fact that's like Atreides and then Harkonnen. It's like ridiculous, and the fact that it says Dune either way is like crazy.
Oh, it's
such
so
a beautiful
good.
game. But yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's go to Japan. Is my game that I played. Me and Ruthie played this one, and hey, me and Ruthie are actually kind of trying to plan a trip to Japan. So we're trying to go there for our honeymoon. So this was kind of like a little bit of research at the same time. This is a drafting game about basically each turn you're going to be drafting a couple cards. You're going to be drafting cards from Tokyo and cards from Kyoto. You're going to be picking one of those cards to play, then passing the card to another player, and then they're going to be drawing more cards. You're going to be building these stacks of cards with the other players that you're playing with. You're basically just drafting and trying to plan out. You're basically doing the prep work and planning out your week in Japan. And you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that you're playing with. And then basically you start the game, you put these tokens out, and the tokens are like looking at the sakura trees, or going to the torii gates, or going to eat sushi, or relaxing, or going shopping, or just doing something social. And you put those out, and you'll get extra bonuses if you do those specific things on the specific days when you're drafting the cards. But this is a game very much of like building up different icons and like comboing those icons together. Very much like I think Matt would like this game a ton because it's very Wing Spanish in that way, but it's also drafting, so it feels a lot like Seven Wonders as well, because you're kind of going back and forth drafting, getting the different icons to be able to build up other different things. You also have a morale track. If you do relaxing things or do things that save you money, your morale will go up. If you spend money or do stressful things, your morale will go down. And I mean, sometimes there can be things, I mean, it's not necessarily bad for that. Also, you're having to balance in between Tokyo and Kyoto when you're playing out your week, because each time you switch in between those in the week, you have to have train tickets. And it's fine if you have enough train tickets to do it, but if you don't have enough train tickets by the end of the week, then you end up like losing some points there if you keep switching back and forth in between Tokyo and Kyoto. But yeah, man, this game feels crazy thematic for how mechanical the game is, because all the stuff is very, very like Japan themed, and like feels like, because I've watched a ton of travel blogs, and like I said, I'm actually trying to plan a trip to Japan, so this very much feels like that. But first you build up all of your days, you build up everything, you're trying to put everything together, and then you go through and score everything. And scoring everything almost takes as long as the game, but you're trying to, basically you are collecting icons that are going to push you up tracks with your different types, whether it be sushi or sakura trees or torii gates or shopping or whatever that would be. But then also on the bottom of the cards, there's if you're at certain points on those tracks, you'll get to combo for extra points and pushing yourself up even further on those tracks. It's really just a game about trying to get enough of the lucky cats, which are your points in the game, and it's a very, very Euro game, and I'm surprised how much I like it. It's probably just because like I really, really like the theme, and it's crazy how much it feels like planning a trip to Japan, you know? So, I mean, I'm sure for the designer, this was a great tax write-off for their mini trips to Japan to study for this game. So they're like, hey, we're going to go to Japan a lot, so we need a write-off for this. Let's design a board game. Let's do it.
Great idea. Love that idea.
Pretty sure I remember getting an email where they were trying to like start generating hype for the game, and the guy was like, "Yeah, we were planning a trip to Japan, and then COVID hit, and so I was really sad." And then I just said, "Well, I've done all this work. Let me turn it into a board game."
I think I saw that too. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Right.
And I was like, "Man, that is an incredible." Way to go about making a board game, but it also kind of sounds like the modern version of Tokaido.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing.
Where it's just like, yeah, we're just taking a trip across Japan.
Yeah, I think Tokaido's a lot less of more of a breezy game than this is, because this is very much like collect the correct icons to be able to combo stuff together and put stuff in the correct order as you're drafting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sounds great.
Well, good news about the trip to Japan you're planning is the yen hit a 34-year low against the U.S. dollar recently.
And somebody just bought a bunch of Japanese Pokemon from Japan out of yen dollars for the first time in their life. So I'm excited about my anime stuff going on there too. Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, sorry, my son's upstairs.
Have you guys set a date?
Yelling down the stairs. Yeah, so I need to actually send out invitations and set the dates. We're trying to do it in October for the
of this year.
And of this year, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we got engaged like a year and a couple months ago, so we're kind of going slow on that. But yeah, we're trying to make it happen.
That's awesome.
The wedding that Last Light built. No, I'm just kidding. Listen. When you're on your second one, nobody else is paying for it but you. You know, so
yeah,
that's true.
Hey, regardless, congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah. So yeah, we're pretty excited. But yeah, so that's the plan. And you know what? I have an anime business too, so it can be a tax write-off for me too. So
there you go.
I just said that publicly. No, I'm just kidding. But no,
but it really could though if you go and
I'm planning on buying like a million
distributors.
things for. Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna make it happen.
You don't even have to buy a million things.
But I will.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring us back as many suitcases as I can. The one thing I was not disappointed, but like when I go to Japan, there's a very specific area that's like Akihabara, which is like nerd central for Japan. It's like I want to go to Akihabara and hit up all the anime places and all the video game places with all the retro video gaming and all the arcades and all of that crazy stuff. And that is represented in this game a teeny bit, but there's like, oh, visit Akihabara. Oh, go to a manga like library. Oh,
yeah.
I was surprised by how little video game stuff there was for this. And I'm guessing it probably has to do with the designer's taste overall, because they're very much just like, or maybe also because they wanted to be culturally sensitive. But I mean, I feel like, you know, Nintendo and like Studio Ghibli and stuff like that are just like a huge part of like Japan. But maybe that's from my nerdy perspective, because I'm extremely nerdy. So, you know.
See, I'm the opposite. I want to go to Japan and look at all the historical places because I've been watching.
That would also be cool. Yeah.
And bro, Shogun's amazing. Make a board game about that.
There's a board game called Shogun. It has a.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's a Euro game, kind of.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was gonna buy it like episode 2 of the show.
It's a good game. Man, it's a good game.
This is amazing. And then I saw it and I was like, Ken would like this game.
I'm not sure if
not gonna get it.
It might be a Rob game, but
yeah,
hard to say.
What's the one? David in chat saying in Akihabara you'll never see all the nerdy gaming stuff because it's so much. Yeah, for real. It's That's like awesome. Literally like gigantic. And I mean, I've also heard that it's also expensive, so you can even go a little bit out of Akihabara and like find more like strip mall type places to get stuff for a better value because it's expensive there. But yeah, it's cool. It's been fun. I'm excited to make it happen. You know, make it happen. We shall see. But yeah, that is Trip to Japan. I think this game is going to do really well this year, and it's not that hard to teach if you kind of go at it with like not trying to teach the entire game up front. It has a little bit of weird drafting. Like the first round, you pull one card from each deck and play one of them and pass the other one. The second round, you look at the 4 cards that were passed to you, play 2 of them, and then pass the other 2. Then you draw 4 cards and then play 2. Like there's this whole like weird drafting, but if you only kind of like teach that as you're going, then it's way easier to do it. Like don't worry about teaching all that stuff up front. Honestly, I would just say the first game we're just kind of like play through it a little bit more casually, and after you understand the whole game, because it's almost all in-game scoring. It's basically all in-game scoring. So it's kind of hard to know how to draft properly without having gone through the game once, you know. But it's a pretty quick game, so yeah, I think it's fun. And I do wonder, we were talking at work about how is this going to spin off a bunch of different like countries? Because I could totally see, let's go to Germany, or let's go to France, or let's go to America, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, all over the place. All right, Kent.
All right. So I played a party game this time called Green Team Wins. I think, Roy, you've played this in the past, right? It's
Herd Mentality. Oh, yes, I played this.
Yeah, so it's like Herd Mentality. So anyway, it's basically, it's very simple. It's you're going to be answering questions, and you're trying to, the questions are kind of, there's not really a right answer to these questions. A lot of time it's like your opinion on something, but you're trying to get the answer that the majority of the players pick. So it could be like a question like this or that. What's better? I don't know, just maybe like ice cream or cookies or something, and just something random. And then everyone's going to pick whichever one they want. And then whoever had the most, or whichever answer had the most, those players become part of the green team and they get a point. If you were already on the green team, you get 2 points. So essentially, if you get questions wrong, you go to the orange team. If you get questions right, you either go to the green team or stay on the green team and you get points, because the green team always wins. So it's just kind of a silly, fun trivia game. There was some laughing and stuff going on. It's very light. I played it with the church group, and a lot of them are not super heavy gamers. But we had a lot of fun with this one. It was easy. There was some discussion, especially on some of the questions where it's like, why would you think that? the dumbest thing ever, that kind of thing. But like, essentially, it was just
Would
really
you rather
easy.
stay up late or wake up
One of the
early?
questions was, would you rather stay up late or go to bed, or wake up early or stay up late? And of course, people should put down stay up late, but then everyone's like, the whole group said wake up early for some reason. I have no idea.
Are they all
Anyway,
old?
Yes, they're old.
Well, there you go.
Early 'cause they have to go
Where's Adam?
Yeah, but anyway, it was just a lot of fun. It was real easy. It's worth playing if you just want like a party game with some sort of trivia feel, but not really trivia. It's more just like kind of talking about, various opinions. And it was cute. So check that one out if that sounds fun to you. And the other thing I've been playing, I've been playing some Pokemon with my son. I saw Roy, you were doing some of this too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I play a ton of Lorcana all the time, but he is not really as big into Lorcana. He's played it before, but he's super big into Pokemon right now. So we've been playing some Pokemon. It's been fun. I still like Lorcana better, but it's kind of neat to try different card games. And I still play some Magic from time to time and play Lorcana like crazy. And then I've been dabbling in Pokemon.
Pokemon is such a weird game.
It's very strange, but it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
It has been around for forever, and like the way to play Pokemon properly is sacrifice Pokemon until you can build up a Pokemon big enough to just one-shot your opponent over and over again. It's like, I'm going to put Pokemon out here for fodder. You are kindling to the meat grinder of my opponent's Pokemon. Well, you're going to go out there. You're going to die. I'm going to send another Pokemon out there. It is going to die.
They're going to faint.
They're going to die.
The game has really everything is so overpowered now. It's like
it's just like you go in and you just one shot. I mean, the game has kind of always been a little bit like that. You're flamethrowing people for 100 damage, which auto kills most things. I mean, that was in the original
but now it's
set,
even more. It's like you're getting like Charizards on turn 2.
Yeah, but it's also wild too, because like now the extremely strong Pokemon, it's like I killed your Pokemon, I get 3 prizes.
I know.
I get to do half the game by killing your Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's interesting. I mean, I guess there is a little bit of interesting card play with playing trainers and trying to switch your opponent's Pokemon out and draw cards and to draw into your little combo. And a lot of times there's Pokemon abilities that can matter, but like
it's very combo heavy, especially in the meta decks. It can be very crazy. Like some of the stuff you can do in it is just ridiculous. Like it's just insane compared to some other card games.
And it's
if you get your little combo going.
It's so unlike like playing the Pokemon video game.
Yeah, I know. But it's fun. I mean, I enjoy it. He likes it, so I've been playing that.
It's like imagine playing the Pokemon video game, but you could like charge up a character on your like in your like roster of characters to do Hyper Beam, but they're going to do Hyper Beam in like 5 turns. So you put all your other Pokemon out there to die, and then the last one comes out to Hyper Beam all of your opponents to death.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, no. Scotty really enjoys playing this too, and the fact that we could play it over FaceTime was cool.
Oh, that's neat. That's really cool.
Yeah, we played over FaceTime, and like we just kind of described what we're doing, and he would show me and stuff like that. And I was getting to a point where I was like winning, but I was like trying to coach him into how to beat me. I'm like, listen, like if you didn't put your energy on the guy that I just killed, put it on the guy who's on the bench because you knew that guy was about to die. Don't build up a guy more when you don't need to. Like build up this guy, and then you can put him out, and then you'll have enough energy next turn to Hyper Beam me to death. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. There's a lot of situations where there's like definitely more optimal plays,
right?
And they don't always see that. So
yeah, CCGs are weird because it's literally just like you have a deck, you build the deck beforehand, but then when you're actually piloting the deck, it's just like minimizing misplays. Don't misplay. I mean, you can only play the game with the cards you're given. It's going to come out in whatever order. Just don't misplay the cards you're given.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Green Teams wins and Pokemon card game.
Playing with kids for the win.
Yeah, yes. For sure. And I am not ashamed of like throwing a game to my kids, like to have them enjoy it.
I got to get better at that.
I do want to give them a challenge, and I do beat them occasionally because like you want them to be able to understand good sportsmanship, But I also do make it, I don't go out there and just like But
she was just talking smack, and I was like, look.
Listen, I do
Rob,
have that
you're
same
totally-
issue too. Like
you're
if they
justified.
start talking smack, like my son has done that a little bit too because he's getting a little bit older. He'll start talking a little bit of smack. I'm like, wait, you want me to take off the training wheels? If you're going to talk smack, we're going to take off the training wheels, and then you're going to have to not run into a tree because you're about to run into a tree, and that tree is me playing optimally, you know. But because I talked about this a while back, but when Scotty got the deck that was like $30 playing against my $10 deck or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, it's over now, you know. But no, it's fun. It's all a
It's
learning
fun.
experience
Yeah.
for all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
All right, Courtney.
All right, so we played. My nieces came over for like a sleepover or something like that to hang out, and so we played Takanoko with them. That was one of the games they picked, and Kent got me like when we first got into gaming. He got me, I think it was for my birthday or Christmas. He got me the Giant Edition, which is just awesome. I love Panda Bears, so that's why we picked that, and I like this game. So this is an older game. So basically, on your turn, you're placing a tile or moving the gardener character to grow bamboo, or you can move the panda to eat bamboo, or you can draw these cards that basically what you're trying to do throughout the game is fulfill these order cards, and that's how you score points. And so the game ends when I think it's 7 cards. So somebody fulfills like 7 order cards, then the game's over, and then you count out how many points everybody has, and whoever has the most wins. It's a really simple game, but I feel like it's definitely like a family weight game. But it has like super cute art with the pandas and the bamboo, and the Giant Edition is so much fun because the bamboo pieces are like super big and clunky and everything, and it looks really good. But it's a lot of fun.
I haven't played this one in forever. What a great game. This is one of the, when I first started getting into gaming, like after Mansions of Madness and stuff like that, like it was like a month or two later, I went to this random board game meetup and they were playing this game, and it wasn't the giant version, but it's such a pretty game. I bought it. I've had it since then. I've owned this game, one of the oldest games in my library. Such a great family game. My in-laws are coming next week because it's my kid's spring break, so I will try to break this out. Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah, it's a pretty
It's a
solid
good
game.
family weight game, and it's cute too, and it's pandas. Like, how are you going to get mad at pandas?
You can't.
Well, when they
They're
eat
so
your
cute.
bamboo that you're trying to build
Bro,
a
we
level
got
4.
themes tonight. We got Spice with Matt and I. We got, you guys are going to Japan, and then Kent's doing his own thing. What a great thing.
He's still got Pokemon in there. He's still in
I got
Japan with
Pokemon.
us.
That's-
Yeah. So yeah, we have our themes for the evening.
And then Courtney's other game. I actually love this game.
Oh, did you put this one up? I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
yeah.
Okay.
I love this
So-
game.
So this one's Yummy Yummy Monster Tummy. It's such a cool game. Our 5-year-old loves this game. So I try to pick games because he's not as into board games, I think, as our oldest.
He does not have the attention span.
Yeah, he just didn't. And so most of the games we'll try to, you can sit with us and play with this, but like he'll sit with one turn and he's like, okay, I got to do something else. So, but this is a game he will sit down and play with you, and so it's a co-op game, and it's an app-based game. So you each have cards that have different colors on them, and this monster shows up on the app that is a certain color, and so you're trying to match the color with your cards to match his color, and so your colors like add together to try to match the color of the monster, and if the closer the match is, the more stars you get, and so if you don't match, then you lose the game. And then some of the cards that I guess thematically you're feeding the monster these items, and some of the items are like good foods and they're called vitamins, and he doesn't like those. So if you feed him too many vitamins, then you lose the game. So it's kind of limits what cards you can play, and so it's fun. It's nice because it's okay. If you lose, who cares? We'll just start the game over. I mean, it's such a quick game, and we played it like not last time we played it like 20 times in a row. Like it was just one after the other. He's like, yeah, let's play it again. So, I mean, it's really quick and it's fun. It's great for a kid's game.
And it's kind of cool because it like unlocks difficulty a little bit. You start with some cards and you add more cards to it as you go along and things like that.
Right.
So you add even more things. And it's almost more of just like an app than an actual game. But you have to have the cards to be able to scan, and it's just fun. Like, it's this really good game for young kids. Like, I would love to have a copy of this. I feel like this is perfect for like Emma and Logan. Like they would love this game. Like I know Logan would love this. Like I played with Scotty and Violet, and they had a blast with it. It's always fun to like see when I play with my older kids, and then what game I end up playing with my younger kids as well. It's just kind of like, it's like, man, this is one that I should introduce to them also.
Yeah, I mean it's super. I mean I think it says 6+ on the box, but I mean it's all it is color matching. So if you know colors, and like I said, if they pick the wrong one, like I mean who cares? You just start another game and it's fine. You know, it's not like a big loss or anything. But it's fun. Like we were high-fiving when we were getting 3 stars, which is like the highest you could get. So it's fun.
Oh, and sometimes there's rabbits in there that only want vitamins, which is a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's once you'll unlock like some of the other stuff. Yeah. But yeah, like we've gotten to the point where we've unlocked all the cards, so we just play all the cards. But yeah, it's fun. It's a cute game.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, I guess we can get to our topic real quick here, and this is nature games. Since it's coming up on springtime, Adam, who we're sorely missing, said we should do nature games for spring.
He's out in nature.
He's out in nature in Florida.
I don't know how much nature and he's doing.
Yeah,
he's in like Orlando, isn't he, or something?
I guess swamp is nature. But yeah,
he could be on the beach.
He could be on the beach. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start. We all picked like a nature game to speak about. And Matt stole mine, so go ahead and Matt talk about it.
There's a lot of nature games. There's a ton nowadays.
I know, and we skipped so many of them because me and Rob are kind of like nature. Ugh.
Yeah.
The game I picked is Everdell. I've played Everdell once, maybe twice, but it's just a super cute little worker placement game where you're just doing stuff in nature. I don't know. I just really enjoyed the look of it, the components, the feel. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite sort of worker placement style game, but it is a lot of fun. It's a good time. They also have a digital version of that, so I'm sure I'll probably end up playing it at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I had a hard time picking a nature game because most of the nature games that I haven't played. Or there are things like Ark Nova where I go, well, the zoo isn't quite nature.
Yeah. Wingspan.
I want to pick Wingspan every week.
At this point, I would have talked about Wingspan every single time we've done the podcast this year. So I was like,
Nothing wrong with that.
Switch it up. I'm going to start being known as the Wingspan guy.
And if anybody complains this isn't naturey enough, because it's fantasy animals, it's got berries, it's got sticks, it has seasons. You know, you're going through seasons.
Oh, just wait till they see my pick.
Got a giant tree.
It's got a giant tree. That's straight up nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is super nature.
It's a super cute game, and it's a lot of fun. And it's by Starling Games, the same people who did A War of Whispers. So fun. Very.
The big box is ginormous.
The big box is too big.
I love A War of Whispers. If that was considered nature because they play on a continent, I'd pick that game.
Almost.
Man, there's a map that's outside.
Yeah, there's outside. There's like water and stuff too, and there's frozen parts too. I guess I'm just assuming they're frozen because it's the blue team. Oh, what a great game!
Well, we can talk about Rob's game.
I'm with you, Roy. I don't like when you guys played Earth at Cabin Con. I was like, all right, I'll go wash dishes. Like I don't care. Like photosynthesis or Earth or Cascadia and all this other kind of stuff. Like good for you.
I still haven't played my copy of Earth. I really need to.
I didn't. I tried to look through my collection. I picked Bunny Kingdom, because bunnies are in nature, and you think of springtime, and also the Easter is right around the corner. Yeah. So I was like, okay, bunnies, let's do Bunny Kingdom. I love Bunny Kingdom. It's been a couple years since I played, but you draft cards, and then you're trying to get these different fiefdoms, and it's area control. It's such a great game. It's such a classic game. Yellow Games is the one who made it, and so it's a lot of fun. It's deceptive on how much of sort of like a take that area control game it really is. And just like bunnies, you will multiply the board. Like if you look at that picture, there will be bunnies all over the board, which makes it a lot of fun. So Bunny Kingdom is my nature game because it's outside and there's bunny rabbits and Easter is coming. But yeah, I don't care for these Yeah. Next person.
So my pick's inspired by Courtney's pick, and Courtney's pick is going to be after mine, which isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. But Courtney went with more of a watery thing. I'm going with a watery theme, and I picked reef because it is outdoors, and like barrier reefs are a big part of nature as well.
It's totally, yeah.
Everybody thinks that, like, when you think nature, they always think of the woods and the forest, but water is part of nature too.
This is a very nature game.
And this is such an abstract game, but you are building up a reef, and if we play with the expansion, you have a little fish that's moving around that can help you score extra points. And I just feel like this is a Emerson gem that is, like, underrated. Like, I love how you have cards that you can either A, play down to gain more pieces of reef and build it up, or B, play those cards down to score basically the pattern that you've built up with your reef. This came out kind of like right at the same time as Azul, and Azul got all the praise, and Reef got like kind of like not shunned, but like nobody really talked about it. I love Reef. I think it's so quick and simple to play, and I played it sometime like within the last 6 months. I'm like, man, Reef is just so good, and I wish more people would talk about it. But yeah, it's a great Emerson Matsuuchi game, and it's about building up a reef.
Kenton always, like, when we're looking at Cullen game, he's like, let's get Reef. I was like, no, gosh, it's such a good game. I love this game, too.
Just play it again. You won't be able to get rid of it.
And it's so good.
I know. We just have too many games, but yeah, maybe we'll play it again.
I keep telling them, like, my parents have a beach house. I'm like, okay, maybe I can just
leave it there.
Leave it at the beach. Yeah. It's such a good beach game.
That sounds good.
Give it a new home.
Without getting rid of it, I'll just, like, slowly, like, hand it off to my parents. But, yeah, it's a really good game.
All right, next is Kent's game. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, sorry, I stole your pick, Matt.
That's all right. I need to diversify.
I mean, I just picked Wingspan just because it's Wingspan, and I love Wingspan. I played it. I feel like I can play this game endlessly and not get bored of it.
Are Dragons nature?
I mean, I could play that one too, just as easily. But I feel like for me, I love getting a hand of cards and be like, what can I do with this? You know, like, I'm not really looking for, like, I'm not one of the people that complains about, like, oh, this deck, I'm going to get screwed by this randomness of this deck. I guess maybe because from my CCG background, I'm more like, let's do the best I can with this hand of cards I've got and just try to build the best engine I can. So I think it's a really fun challenge every game, because with the different scoring goals and the different birds and different bird powers. And it's just a beautiful game, and it's just easy to play. But it gives you it gives me enough strategy to, keep me interested and wanting to keep coming back to it. So that's Wingspan.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then the water theme game.
So I know I'm in the minority in this podcast, but
That's who?
So I love nature games, and I probably love nature games probably as much as Roy loves space games. I could care less about space games. Give me a nature game any day of the week, and I would play that.
Space is part of nature.
Yeah, it is, but different kind of nature. So, the game I picked is called Kohaku, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's such a gorgeous game, and you're basically building a koi pond. It's a tile-laying game, and the components are excellent. It comes with like this neoprene mat. All the tiles are these beautiful acrylic tiles, and they're the way that they're painted on, they're like layers within layers. So like the lily pads are on top, and then the fish are like deeper into the acrylic, so they like look like they're in the water. It's just a gorgeous game. But you're just like taking tiles on your turn and creating this koi pond. And depending on how you place the tiles, just like a typical tiling game, depending on how you place the tiles, scores you points. And then, of course, by the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. But when we first got this game, I tell you, I played the heck out of this game. Like every time we'd have people, let's play this game. And Kent's like done with it. He's like ready to get rid of it.
I still like it.
But I really love this game, and I've never heard anybody talk about this game, but it's a gorgeous game, and if you like tile laying and like that type of game, it's a good one.
I'll name drop.
I could pick any nature game and go crazy about it.
I play tested this game with Emerson and the designer like before it came out, before it had like the acrylic tiles and stuff like that. It was pretty fun, but I was like, the one thing that I really remember about is like, I beat Emerson in the game. That was pretty fun. Because he's a pretty smart dude.
pretty simple game. So
Yeah,
it's really easy, and it's it's another family weight game. But it's
just all about building
gorgeous.
a koi pond.
Yeah.
It's like the most complicated part is figuring out how to score it. And knowing how to score it, essentially. Kind of like it sounds like your Japan game, where it's like the scoring takes a little while, but the gameplay itself is really easy.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. And there are so many nature games. I mean, the other big ones that people really talk about are like Meadow. Like people love Meadow. Yeah. And of course, Earth,
Cascadia is another good one.
Cascadia, yeah.
What about the Fox Experiment? Is that a nature game?
Does it count? That's more like an animal.
I would say
that's a sciencey animal game.
Of course, yeah. Ecos was another one we considered.
Yeah.
That's kind of a nature game.
What is the is it Planet that has like the sphere with the magnets on the different sides?
Yeah, that one's a good one.
That game looks crazy. I've never played that, but that's cool.
Oceans, Evolution.
Yeah, I thought about those. Yeah, Oceans and Evolution are both pretty fun too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. People love Cascadia, but for me, I'm just like, it's just about getting pine cones. All you have to do is just get pine cones and you win. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Just something satisfying about the tiling in that game, but
I don't know why that stuff doesn't do. I normally do decent in those games. Like I can do good. Like I'm pretty sure the only time I ever played
it's
Cascadia,
just not exciting.
It's just
here's the thing.
It's relaxing.
No board game themes matter. I could play any of these nature games.
That's not
true.
Don't. That's not how I feel at all.
That's what happened to Matt. Matt's seeing the truth now. He's played Dune Imperium and seen that it's just a mechanical puzzle to solve.
I'll quit playing.
I do agree. That's why
the numbers behind the Matrix, man.
That's why I always said Dune Imperium is very like Euro, But
it is. I personally
if it ever gets that way for me, I'm quitting board games.
The themes melt away, and then I just am trying to figure out what to do with the game. That's what happens.
I hate everything you just said.
I don't know. There's something to me about like I like when I have a character that can run around the board and do things, or a spaceship that can fly around the board and do things, or building up a civilization that can go out there and do things.
I get it. I don't have an imagination
to like of course I want to win, but I'm not playing to like just see the ones and the zeros or the green lines like the Matrix.
Right.
I'm playing to escape. Like I'm playing to like be the frisbees or the heebie-jeebies or the koi pond fish or whatever.
Like even in the Let's Go to Japan game or whatever, like I was drafting and planning out my week, and one of them was like, oh, go use the gachapon machines. And I'm like, I can't pass this card. Like I want to put the gachapon machines in my week because I want to go to the gachapon machines because they're a big part of my like little business thing that I'm doing. I love gachapon machines. I'm like, it might not be strategically advantageous, but I'm going to put it in my setup for the theme of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, we're not getting paid to play these. Like, we're not going to tournaments, right? It's not like poker where you're sitting down and you got like $1 million bet on a game, and whoever wins this game, you're going to make $1 million, right? Then, yes, I'll turn my Matrix eyes on, and it might be a little too late to.
I was about to say, I've gone to World Series of Board Gaming. They give a decent amount of money over there. I definitely do not compete.
If I go to that, I'll be cold and heartless.
But I'm just saying I can't help it. It's just how it is for me.
I go to World Series of Board Gaming and just play in the open gaming area with all the losers. Because if you're in the open gaming area, that means you lost your tournament. And
that's where I would be.
It's fun to just be there,
That's probably where the fun is.
That is where the fun is. The thing that is interesting about that is that most of the people that are in tournaments, they only want to play their tournament games, and they really don't want to play new games because it will mess up their flow of the game they're trying to win thousands of dollars on. Mm-hmm. So it was an interesting prospect because the guy who ran it allowed me to like demo Last Light for people, like have it just set up all the time there. But there was a lot of people that are like, man, I really want to play this after everything's done because I can't think about a different game right now. I'm like, I get it, when there's thousands of dollars on the line, why would you think about strategies of another game? And there was a guy who, in the Dune tournament, one of the Mr. Beast crew played, and he played Last Night with me. He's like, I don't know why I played your game because I'm supposed to be winning a Dune tournament. I'm going to be in like the finals, and now I can't stop thinking about your game instead of thinking about Dune Imperium. And I'm like, my bad. And all of his opponents were like, thank you, Roy. but yeah, I get it. Like competitive play is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that. Like Rob said.
No, I like the social interaction and the messing with people. That's why I love playing with Matt. I think I have more quiet, silent conversations with Matt than I do physical conversations or verbal conversations. Like just all the side eyes, the giggles, the laughs, the little things that we do to each other. Like that's what I love about the game.
Just the number of times I'll look up, meet your eyes, and it's just like something's happening.
Something's going on. Or like even when we played that Ultimate Werewolf at Roy's house before he moved, and I was like,
oh man,
so I'm the werewolf. And you were like, well, what? I was like, but we're family, so don't kill me. Like that's why I play these games. Or like when Courtney and Adam, Team Orange Horse, just kill me just because. They're like, oh, hey, I have this kill card, and I know Rob is literally has nothing to do with any of this stuff, but let's just kill Rob. That's why I play.
Okay, that's not how it
That's why I play.
You had gotten you were throwing your little pity party by yourself down at the end of the table, and
Girl,
we were
guys killed me like out of 7 games in a row. 5 of the 7 games in a row.
Okay, but by the end of that, we were just killing you because sometimes at first it started out being legit, and then we were just killing you in the end because you were just making a big.
And you weren't working with anybody.
So I didn't have the cards.
Anybody,
I didn't have the cards to work with anybody.
Man, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was making pizzas while you guys were playing this game. I thought it was just about racing horses. I didn't realize you're killing people in it.
No, this was
delightful.
It was a different game.
That was the Night of the Ninja we were talking about.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That was.
Yeah, because you killed me one time, Matt, as well.
Yeah. Like, hey, look, man, you've got a.
You've made a pinky promise.
I'm giving you
You're
a
even like, hey, man, my bad, bro. And just
no. But look, here's the thing. I gave you something that you can cash in your darkest moments, and I'll do something for you. So we'd be playing a game with T.I., you'd be like, take a dive, and I'm like, got it. Just cashing it in. It's all right.
Publicly execute Roy. I mean, what?
Courtney, I just learned a new side of you. You were just killing me to be a bully. You were being a bully.
No, we weren't being a bully.
You're being a bully. Okay.
No. We were just teasing you.
Heartbroken. Okay.
We were giving you something to complain about because you were complaining about nothing, and then
as I was making your hummus trays and taking care. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you were doing this. Exactly.
Good times.
Well, I guess with that, I can say thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for checking us out. Let us know in the comments what nature games you enjoy, or what games you've been playing, or what you want to see in Japan. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
What do you want to see in Japan?
Or tips on how to beat Kent in Lorcana. No, I'm just kidding.
That's easy. I lose all the time.
Oh, well.
Hey, Dustin, I know you were messaging me while you were watching the show. Thanks for listening. Dustin, I appreciate it, boss.
Aw, snap. Yeah. Anyway.
Dustin wins everything.
He's always watching. You guys are watching 3 Body Problem? Or 3
Yes! Body? I just started that last night. My coworkers are watching it also. I'm only like 2.5 episodes in, 3 episodes in, something like that.
Dustin is like those aliens where it doesn't matter. He's there. He's just there. And he knows.
He knows.
He knows. He knows. He knows.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you guys all on the next one. Bye.
You guys are amazing. Don't play with Courtney. She'll kill you. Peace.
Bye.